Everyone, let's do this. Once again, we are back live streaming. Here, let's pop this back out. Let's go. My headphones aren't turned on, so I gotta turn them on real quick. It's actually kind of interesting. Let's see here. Can you guys hear the music? I don't think you can. Let's figure this out. Yeah, you're not able to hear the music. It's just like super quiet for you guys. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna fix it for you. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, so you guys can hear it right now, right? The problem is, as soon as I save this setting... Oh, it stayed. Okay. I just switched to off the setting and then turned it back on and it fixed it, so... Now you guys got some music there. Green screen's looking pretty good. It's like a little fuzzy around the edges, but we'll fine tune it as we get going. Guys, I just barely moved. I just moved. It took like a whole week. It was this whole big long process. I freaking hate packing boxes and hauling it all into like a truck when you know just in the next day you're gonna have to unpack everything. It's kind of the worst. Like, it is the opposite of efficient. It just is terrible. All except for the fact that it gives you an opportunity to throw away a bunch of stuff. So I've just been clearing out everything lately. All my items and things that I thought I needed. It was nice just to throw it all in the garbage can. So yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because I've been sort of silent on YouTube and stuff for the last week, and that's why I've just been super busy. I'm just gonna update some titles. Let's go to... Let's do... head over to YouTube. Just gonna change what category we're in because Ashes of Creation came out with another update. So I'm super excited about that. Ashes of Creation. It's weird because on YouTube it says Ashes of Creation came out in 2019. So that's kind of strange. Let's do this. Bam. Okay. We are updated on YouTube now as well. We'll even drop in a thumbnail here. Sweet. Guys, it's been a while. It's been a while. Been a long, long while. Okay, I think we're all... Oh, dang it. I forgot, I need to go and change what category I'm in. So usually you do all this stuff when there's like an opening, like stream starting screen. Yeah. Well, I, didn't do that, so... Let's change what category we're in. Ashes of Creation. Okay, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Category, Ashes of Creation. I was like confused because I thought I had switched myself over, but it wasn't showing in one place. And I got rid of the Ring of Pain little doodad. So that was a complaint, but we got that taken care of now. All right. Are you guys ready for this? I have been waiting so long to watch this. So Let's go. Whew.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ashes of Creation stream for July. Oh my goodness, it has been another month. We have been
Crazy.
so excited, and obviously Alpha 1 has kicked off, and
so crazy.
It's been crazy for us. We're just trying to keep all the things moving and grooving, and
it has been crazy.
Yeah, and love seeing everybody in chat getting excited. Very, very exciting stuff here.
Whose idea was it to move back into the studio while the Alpha 1 was going on?
Oh wait, he might be here on the screen. Other people might have said that might not be a good idea.
Yes, it's true.
It's okay though. I think it's been exciting. Obviously, the new office is looking awesome, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But first and foremost, I just want to get into the things.
Yo, Hiroshi.
What we're covering today is reminders. We have studio update, design update. We have environment art and character art, and we have our Q&A as per usual. But we have a lot of goodies for you guys, including a video.
Hiroshi, I don't really recognize you in chat.
I know what you guys are really excited about, so I'm going to just get to it. I already see you in chat freaking out. We do have an announcement for a giveaway. It's probably not even started yet because I haven't announced it. But please, if you are interested in winning an Alpha
Sorry if that's
go ahead and
a little boring for you then if you just watched it. I'm super excited to watch it.
Easy peasy. And type in the
word
Alpha 1.
This is my first time seeing all this
in the chat, and you will be.
Whenever they have an update,
otherwise you could
get really into it. So just get really happy about it.
One time should be good. And obviously we'll be keeping an eye on. I know some people are concerned about like bots and stuff like that. We'll be making sure that we draw a new winner if we see those things as issues. So if you see more keys being drawn, that might be why as well. And all winners will be notified at the end of the stream. So just be active, be in chat, hang out with us, and you will have a chance to win.
Can't wait.
How many keys are being handed
I'm super excited.
It's dependent on our viewership. So get more viewers in here, and we'll have more followers, more giveaways.
Wow.
Sounds like I should have watched it live to get an alpha key.
And of course, on the YouTube side, if you are watching this on YouTube, we do want to give you guys an opportunity to get in on it as well. We are going to give out about 10 keys. So all you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment as to why you think you deserve to win a Alpha 1 key, and then you'll be joining us on, or we'll send you a message on August 2nd, and then that means you'll be able to join us on August 5th for that test and for
cool.
In the Alpha 1 testing.
Maybe I should do that.
So, yeah.
How exciting.
Exciting, yeah.
I could just copy the same.
I know that a lot of people are like, well, I can't afford an Alpha 1 pack, and we totally understand that. And like we've said before, don't purchase if you are not, if you can't afford it. We really just want to have people who are interested in helping join us along the development, and obviously you get some rewards in return for that. So I'm going to go quick into...
Yeah, I honestly think it's not really worth it spending the $500. And this is coming from a content creator's perspective where, like, this is the game, right? This is what I'm making videos on and stuff, and I still don't think it's worth spending the $500 for it. Do I wish I was freaking rich and money wasn't an issue so that I could? Yeah. But yeah, $500 is just too much. Yeah.
To our
people who are willing to pay $500, yeah.
We have our Alpha 1 package that is up right now, which is the Zenith Advent, and that will be swapping over August 4th, 2021.
Can I just say that I was this close to actually doing the $500, and then I like snapped myself. Like, I just slapped myself across the face and was like, what are you doing? Like, don't do this. Because here's my thought process. The game isn't even that fun. Like, even watching people play Alpha 1, I wasn't super impressed, right? Like, I was watching, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, it'd be fun to get in there and mess around. But after about an hour, you were kind of like, okay, like, this isn't super crazy fun. Like, it's really good for an alpha. I'm impressed and still excited, but it just wasn't like mind-blowing. But I was looking at this pack in this like 5-minute window when I was like really considering paying $500 for it. I went to this pack and I was like, no, I'm not spending $500 for this pack. Like, I don't know. This isn't really my style. As cute as this little duck with a flower on his head, I mean, let's be honest, like, that's pretty cute. Everything else I was like, no, I'm not super interested in this. And it was a contributing factor to me not wanting to spend $500. A small contributing factor, but still a contributing factor. Lupus Grieg? I don't know how to say your name. Beta. You have the beta symbol. Yeah, $500 isn't for playing the game. Those who are willing to spend $500 are those likely to understand that it's an alpha and more likely to give valuable critique. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: is I've been making content for Ashes of Creation for about a year now, right? So I feel like I'd have lots of critique to give, but I still don't think it's worth the $500. Just the fact that it's 500 is mind blowing. Yeah, it really is. What it was like, so many people wanted Alpha 1. They're like, okay, we're just gonna charge you $500 for it. Like, all of our other cosmetic packs have been like $250, $300-ish, but if you want Alpha 1, pay $500. So they really milked it for all it's worth. As Steven himself said, don't purchase it expecting to play the game. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But I don't know, there's this, I'm agreeing with you guys, yeah. But I wanted to just point out this dichotomy of, yes, it's an unfinished game, but they're still going to charge you $500. Like, they're still going to milk you to give them feedback. You know what I mean? Like, if they really... Yeah. Anyway, enough said.
At 11 a.m. So if you're interested in this package, you know, a little homage to the ducks for Steven.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know,
You
I'm
just
sorry.
that was out of my mind, and now I remembered.
I'm
The
sorry.
duck
Had
is
the little
freaking
baby
cute, though.
duck there.
They were so cute. But
They
this-
were cute.
they'll forever be with us now that we have
It's
this,
true.
right?
Yeah, I like the little flower hat for the duckling too.
Right. I've just seen so many memes with that duck. I was like, we have to have a duck with a little flower hat. It's too cute. And of
Yeah, I
course,
get
if you're
you.
interested,
Yeah.
go ahead and check that out over on our website. We also have our FAQ about Alpha 1 in there if you're interested in reading that. And also, if you still have any further questions, you can reach out to us through our support Twitter or put in a CS ticket and we will assist you further on that front. Beyond that, we've got our dev discussions. We've been really enjoying seeing
Man.
everybody leaving us comments and discussing things with us. I know that we do also have a lot of Alpha 1 discussion going, but beyond Alpha 1, we have a lot of things that we're working on, like guild systems and things like that. And so we're very interested in, and obviously guilds are so important in an MMO. So we really want you guys to get involved. And so this one is a two-part question. One is for guild members, what kinds of information do you look for before joining a guild? And for guild leaders, what kinds of characteristics are you looking for in new guild members? Now, what this is
Yeah.
going to help us do is we do want to have a lot of recruitment systems within our game and on our website. And
Right.
so like this is going to help us make sure that we have all of the features for you guys in those systems. So please leave us comments on that. And of course,
I just want to add in a small comment here that we're starting our own guild on Discord, so feel free to come join it. But we're going to be like a pirate marauder guild where we're like constantly like migrating. Yes, we'll have like our favorite nodes and stuff, but we're going to just like be migrating. We're going to be able to be hired by other guilds. We're going to be like mercenaries in a way. Yeah, War Crimes 1 Butt Stuff. What a great name. Yeah, I understand. They really make buying the pack worth it, right? Like, I'm not saying there's not value in the pack. But yeah. The cosmetics, I'm not interested in. The game time, yeah. The in-game currency, meh. I'm not really interested in that stuff. I just want to make content for the game, right? And I understand you're paying about $85 for the alpha, yeah. Those fire cosmetics look really nice. Yeah, the fire cosmetics do look really good. It's also set high as a barrier to get people who give actual feedback to participate. I don't think it's really set. I don't think that's why they charged $500 is not a barrier to only pull out people who will give feedback. Money is not the determining filter you put people through if they're going to give feedback or not. But you're right in the fact that it does help it might weed out some of the trolls, you know. Agreed. He has a fantastic name. The fact that you said his name with a straight face, yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of like saying you're rich, your options matter to us. Yeah, I agree. Well, Steven said directly that's part of the reason, so you can disagree if you want. No. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just trying to put in another perspective here. I think I think war crimes von butt stuff. Here is my saltiness, is that I'm jealous. I'm freaking jealous, man. I want to play the alpha one, and I just don't have enough money. And I'm a content creator, and I feel like I could have given a lot of good feedback and made good videos out of it. But alas, I don't have that kind of money right now. So maybe you're right, and maybe I'm just bitter and poor.
You don't want to say anything?
I was just going to ask, have you ever led a guild, Margaret?
Oh, Steven, have I ever led a guild? Here's the thing. I have been in so many guilds where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be a healer, or I'm just going to be a tank. I'm just going to do that. And then I think you know long. Me. I'm just too much of like an OCD person
Alpha
to
2 gang, let's go.
Go forward and be like, why is this chaos? And then I always end up becoming an officer, and then people leave.
And what did you look for in guild members when you recruited for your guilds?
Well,
yo, Red XC Slayer, hello again, welcome back.
I am one of those elitist people. I'm unfortunately.
You're so toxic.
I know.
Margaret.
I'm unfortunately because all the guilds that I've really been in growing up, maybe not so much now. I feel like might be more casual. No, I don't know. But previously, when I've always played, I've always just wanted to be world first, right? Like be the best on the server, be the best guild on the server.
Super
I've always
competitive.
been, like, the top guild or the second to top guild. And so from my perspective, I'm always looking for people with high attendance, people who meet our criteria in regards to like damage or healing or whatever it might be. And then obviously just people who can follow directions, because that is like the worst thing to be in a raid
so
with people who
frustrating.
just like are not paying attention. And then obviously, you know, being able to hear and speak is, or be able to like communicate,
be on
I guess.
Comms.
Yeah, some form of communication, whether that's text or voice or whatever it might be.
Discord.
We try to accommodate for all people, but you know, you need to be able to do the things.
I always used to have like, so in my guild that I led for, gosh, I don't know, 16 years, 17 years almost.
Yeah.
Across many MMOs. I would just recruit based off of like personality, but I would have like contingents within the guild that were very elitist or were more casual or were like, you know, crafting and farming and that kind of stuff. And I wanted everybody, but if they were like an elite kind of, you know, wanted to do world first and that kind of stuff, they would be delegated off under a particular officer into a different exactly. And that would be like our strike team, right? They would be like, you'd have to have different types of tryouts to get into those departments, we would call them, essentially.
I mean, that works.
That's
too.
really interesting.
I think people do all kinds of things. For instance, when it came to like PlanetSide, for instance, so that was a little different. We definitely wanted as many people, but we had departments, right? We had like our air.
Guys, this is how our guild is gonna be, okay? Whether you guys are interested in joining our Ashes of Creation guild or not, doesn't matter. Still come over to our Discord, come hang out. That's where you can like message me the quickest, I feel like. Anyway, we're gonna have a pirate marauder guild, okay? We're gonna have 8 different officers or like guild leaders for every single class. Okay, so each officer is gonna be in charge of their class. So the ranger officer will be in charge of all the rangers in the guild. And then he can divide up the ranking order and stuff like that. Obviously, because I'm a small fry and I don't have like a spurg load of people like that are going to join this guild, we're going to be pretty chill and relaxed. Like, sure, we'll try to be competitive, but I think we're just mainly going for fun content. Like, we just want to be able to do some of the hardest content, but we're not going to be like super like butthurt if we don't get world first or something like that. Have you played SWTOR? SWTOR? I don't think I have. What does that acronym stand for? I don't think I have, though.
our armor, our infantry, and even within those, we had like very specific things that they were doing. So I can see that working. I think it just depends on like what type of guild you want, right? I always focused on like that end
Come over on Discord
raiding
and send a
content for
message
me.
on
So I
Discord
just
saying
wanted
you're
like a
interested
tight-knit crew that
in joining the
got
guild.
shit done, I guess is the best way to put it. Did you have like a like a membership process? So for instance, like they had to apply first and then they had like a little trial period.
So what would happen is usually either a recruiter who was reaching out or applicants that would want to join, saw us on the server or whatever, they'd have to submit an application, fill out a form on our website, right? And then one of our recruiters would kind of, based off of their interests in the game, would assign them to a particular officer of one of the departments, and then they would go through that department's interview process.
Like running a company.
I know.
Holy cow, that is intense. Yeah, to apply to our guild, you just send me a message on Discord. I mean, we're not big enough or intense enough to warrant a whole website. Did you play New World? Yeah, I did. I played New World. I'm kind of just waiting for the next. I'm waiting for the release now. So, yeah, I did play the alpha. Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's a pretty good MMORPG. Yeah, I was watching. There was a couple streamers that were playing it. I can't remember who I was watching, but yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. In fact, if you've watched some of my past live streams, I'm making this like Star Wars cantina in Blender. So yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I was interested in that. The combat, I don't know. It seemed a little too basic for me, but I need to go give it another look.
Like for example, one of our coders, Alex.
Yeah,
Gioli,
Summit was
one
of them.
One of my commanders, and he led the mercenary team.
Yeah,
which essentially
those were the two I saw.
Seek like services from other guilds out on the server that needed either help escorting their trade runs or participating in sieges and helping along those things. So he would like be an outreach person, talk to other guild leaders, and he would recruit people that was like, that were typically ready at any given moment to participate in those types of events, and he would put them through like PvP kind of testing and fighting the leaders and the officers and stuff, and then based on that they would get initiated as a recruit and then eventually become a member, and then they could see opportunities as a sergeant or an officer under him. And then I had multiple what I would call commanders that led each of the departments, and they would have their own officer corps, and then that's how kind of we split it up. But I mean,
keep in mind, Steven's guild was massive, so that's why they needed that much structure in order to keep chaos from ensuing.
I think we had like 17,000 people in the guild at one point, so there's a lot of people.
And I'm over here with we've got like 40, 50 people, depending. Well, I mean, EQ days, obviously there's a lot more people, but I think it depends on like the game that you're playing and how many people you need to raid, and then you need backup people just in case, right?
Yeah.
The only guild experience I have is in World of Warcraft, and I feel like it's a little different than his massive setup. Maybe it's because in World of Warcraft right now, I feel like guilds are less active than they were back in the day in World of Warcraft. They each have a different story in Star Wars: The Old Republic per class. That's interesting. Yeah, like back in the day, guilds were so big, but I feel like today, now guilds are more just like, hey, we're a group of people and we want to do content together, which is okay, but there's not a whole lot of communication between guilds. There's not like guilds sabotaging each other. And I think that's one of the things I'm most excited for when Ashes of Creation. I was in an EVE alliance with that many people. Those were the days. Man, I played EVE for a little bit way back in the day. I haven't played it recently. But yeah, EVE is huge. Those were the days. Yeah, I doubt that Ashes of Creation will have that big of guilds. Also, Ben Gorath Lip LP. I don't know how to say your name. Welcome to the stream, man. I've never been in a guild. Well, Red X Sea Slayer, come join our guild on Discord. We're setting it up so that when Ashes come out, we'll have like people to play with and be able to do some harder content pretty early in the game. Yeah, I just hope I can write a book in Ashes. You want to write a book in Ashes? That's weird. I don't understand what you're saying by that. Yeah, so in Ashes of Creation, Steven was saying that each server will only have about 10,000 people. I mean, that's a lot. Like, it's not only 10,000, but you're not going to have some massive Eve like guild that has 1,000 plus members. I think they're gonna have smaller sets. They're gonna have several hundred members, but they're not gonna be massive ones. At least that's my understanding. I might be wrong on that. Thanks. I just hope that there will be some Eve gameplay I miss in MMOs. For the most of the time, we weren't a big corp. More like guerrilla warfare. Yeah, I think they're really going for having more guild to guild interactions and politics and sabotages, because it's open world PvP, right? Like, yes, there's corruption and that's a different topic, but yeah, I think guilds are going to be super important. I need the link to the Discord. It should be okay, I'll get that link to you. I just remembered there's not an easy way to find that link. I'll update the bio on YouTube with the link. Right now it's blank.
That's we're going
That's
off
fun.
on a
I
tangent.
love those discussions. I love the guild discussion. Sorry, I took us off on a tangent.
No, it's okay. I like chatting about it too, but I think me and you could talk about just game stuff for ages. But beyond that question, our next one that's coming up next month is going to be about new player experience. And this is so important, I think, especially if I know that we do have some people who are like, this is going to be my first MMO. Really kind of give us as much information.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a macro command for Discord. I just linked all of my socials, and Discord is on one of those, so you should be able to find it. I heard that there is almost no fast travel, and goods have to be transported by caravans. That would suffice for the things I love in Eve. Yep, there's almost no fast travel. Yep. You can build some, if I understand correctly, you can build some nodes, specifically the scientific node, that lets you fast travel to vassal states, as in the surrounding nodes that are within its region of influence. But and a scientific node can, I believe, fast travel to another scientific node. But other than that, there's no flying, there's no like flight paths. So it's all by foot transferring goods. And so, like, yeah, you can set up a caravan and transfer a huge load of goods, or you can do a whole bunch of small trips just on foot with your character, right? Load up your character, run. But because it's open world PvP and caravans are part of the PvP, like, it'll be really interesting to see the guild dynamics with that. Like, our guild, we're going to be a pirate sort of mercenary guild, so a lot of guilds are going to hire us to, like, protect their caravans or to attack other people's caravans. So, yeah. And just sorry, I'm talking way too much. We just need to watch the video
as you can. Or for those of you who have been through lots of tutorials,
I'm just really excited.
Or lots of gameplay experiences, walk us through like what you think is important for new player experience. Obviously, we have things in mind, but we want to make sure that we're, on key with what you guys think as well. And of course, we also have our guild gatherings, which are specifically about guild stuff, because like, as we said, guilds are very important to community, and obviously MMOs are really all about guilds. It's all about working together as a group, whether that's a small group like I prefer or a massive one that Steven prefers.
Well, to be fair,
we're going to be like medium size.
17,001 game, right? We
That's
were
true.
a guild for 16, 17 years over across many different MMOs, and over that time, the email list builds, the forum group builds,
Okay. In that case, yes, I have been part of an organization.
Yeah,
like
assassination.
There you go. And we had different chapters based on the game. And some of the
we did have
would
that.
go and play certain games and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Our guild's going to be part of those
different.
for sure.
I see what you're saying.
No, if we had 17,000 in a single server, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, you would just take over the server. So for guild gatherings, we asked you, what makes a problematic member for your guild, and how do you handle situations as they arise? What expectations do you set up front, and what are the consequences for failing to meet them? I think a lot of this, obviously, guild conflict can be good things, but it also can be not so great. And on our front, we want to make sure that we're providing you guys the tools that you need to, in-game solve some of these issues as well, which, will be interesting. I don't think there's a lot of games that do that. So we definitely want your opinions. Toss those over to us over on the forums right now. We'd love to see that. And next month...
Is there going to be like guild timeout? It's like you're causing a whole bunch of drama in the guild, and they're gonna have a built-in system. It's like, okay, you're gonna go to timeout where privileges are suspended for a little bit.
We'll be asking you about your ideal guild members, so definitely stay tuned for that. We're curious to see what you guys have to say on that front. And moving on from there, of course, we want to remind you of the upcoming playtests. Obviously, right now we are in Alpha 1. We are going until August 13th, so we really appreciate you all joining us. There's actually a playtest right now going on Thursday, July 29th at 11 a.m. It started, and it will be going till Monday, August 2nd. And then we will also, continue to have more testing up till August 13th.
Man.
And if you are an Alpha 1 key holder, you will be joining us post Alpha 1 for like spot testing too. So, stay tuned. It's not just for Alpha 1, but that is kind of the gist of that. I know people have continued to ask that. It's in our FAQ as well.
It would be cool to be part of that.
To be fair, just to expand on that topic a little bit, while we will have specific spot tests for certain systems as we develop them post the Alpha 1 month, it should be expected and understood that after this Alpha 1 month, there will be probably a significant amount of downtime where there won't be spot testing as we kind of break apart a lot of systems, take what we learn from Alpha 1 month and implement and iterate upon those learnings, right? So there's going to be several months probably worth of significant downtime where there will not be access to spot testing, where we are going to go in and really rejigger a lot of systems.
Yeah, we're excited. And then, when you hop in and play again, it's going to be a new experience.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
If you have Alpha 1 access, be sure to check out our Alpha 1 forums as well as Discord. That's going to be where all the information is rolling. We really try our best to be there for you, communicate with you almost 24/7. So, during the playtesting, definitely 24/7. Toast and I have been doing our best, and now we have a new homie on our community team as well, so hopefully people are being kind and nice to Vaknar, who is our new junior CM as well, and we're initiating him. He's downloading all the information, and soon
Yes, and a big shout out and hearts in chat for Margaret and Sarah. They have been, or Lieutenant Toast and Luperza, they have been an absolute unbelievable godsend. They are working their butts off and doing an amazing job covering the testing periods, taking crazy shifts. I'm actually sad about the shifts that they're taking, but
yeah, it's crazy how responsive Toast is on Discord.
They have Cody to assist, and they've been doing such a great job. So amazing work to our community team. Really great job.
Yeah, we know you appreciate it, us.
Absolutely.
And of course, Sarah and I, we this is the stuff we love. We love being able to like chat with you guys and hop in game and be there for you and support you, and answer questions. Like that's the stuff that we love.
That's so funny. I said hearts in chat right as I think Sarah put slow mode on so nobody could put hearts.
Way to go, Sarah. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. I think she's released them. She's
Release the hounds.
Slow them down again. It's getting crazy in the chat, that's for sure. Which we love seeing. We love seeing you guys all be very active. Also, a reminder that the NDA has been lifted. That means you can stream, you can take screenshots, you can create videos. We've been loving watching all the content. I have actually not been able to watch all of the content. There's that much content right now. I usually watch.
There's a lot of content. People are going crazy.
Read every single thing that's posted. I have a huge backlog of stuff, but we're definitely putting together reporting for Alpha 1 in regards to the content that's being created on our press side, what's going on, and obviously Toast has been putting together a lot of reporting, and so has our CS team. Adam has been amazing putting together reports for our development team in regards to all of the issues that you guys have been encountering, all of your feedback and suggestions, and we will be doing some big reporting towards the end as well. And we will do a recap. I think people have continually asked us like, when will we see the data and what you guys are going to do? So we will be posting something after Alpha 1 in regards to that. It'll be kind of like a recap of what we learned, maybe some data for you guys, some specific data, and then also like what we're doing as we move forward towards Alpha 2. So just stay tuned for that. We'll definitely give you guys that information. We've been very communicative on that front. And last but not least, the last thing I have for quick updates here.
A lot of reminders.
Just a reminder on the content creator program. I know people have been asking about it. The applications are now open, so definitely go ahead and apply, but we are not inviting new folks into the program yet. We had so many people interested, and obviously we want to support all of them, and we want to give you guys as much love and support to help build our community and create content, that we are actually hiring an influencer relations specialist to help with us. They'll also be helping with a program as well that is called the Content Creator Training Academy, and that academy will be allowing people who maybe aren't quite in the content creator program, but we know that they could be. We want to give them an opportunity to help them get to the point where they are able to. And obviously not everyone's even going to make it into that, but we will message you whether you get into the program, whether you're in the training program, or whether you don't make it, and what you need to do to be able to reapply again. So we will get back to you. Apologies for the slow. I've been interviewing people like crazy.
I just want to share my opinion real quick. I feel like the content creator like boot camp is so stupid. Like, they should just deny people and be like, no, sorry, you don't have enough followers. Like, they shouldn't have like a holding period. It's like, we like your content, we just don't feel like you have enough followers or people. Like, for example, some of my videos are getting over 40,000 views for Ashes of Creation. One in particular I'm thinking of. The other one has about like 20,000 views. Like, I feel like I'm putting out pretty good content, but I'm just a small fry, right? So I feel like they're not putting me in because of my subscriber count, maybe, even though it's been like exploding lately. I don't know. I just think it's they pretend that they're only accepting people in that make good content, but I don't think that's it. I think they're only letting people in that have a lot of eyes on them.
I'm actually in a second round of interviews because the first round did not supply me what I needed. So our recruitment staff has been like, yeah,
maybe that's just another thing I'm salty about
too.
Yeah,
bitter
too.
about.
It's been exciting. They've gotten me some new recruits, and I've been just powering through interviews. I have like a bunch next week as well. So we're trying our best to get those going as quickly as possible. And once we have them on staff, we'll start churning it out. I think that's all I got on reminders. Stephen, walk us through the studio update.
The studio update. I think as of yesterday, all workstations in the new studio are completed and set up and constructed.
Wow.
So that's exciting.
During alpha too.
Yes.
It was touch and go there for a moment because we had some delays with the furniture and we had some construction
The furniture's so
issues.
nice, like the stand-up desks. I'm so excited for it.
Okay, funny story. So this is it's an interesting story. So we have multiple conference rooms across, the studio, right? I don't know. I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 or 8 conference rooms.
7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, 7 or 8 conference rooms across the studio. One of the conference rooms, the construction crew was finishing up like last touches and adding some of the windows and stuff. And they accidentally removed the door to the conference room on one of the sides. So it only has like one door that's accessible from the entrance lobby. And I walk over there and I'm like, that's strange. Shouldn't there be a door? I mean, how do you get into this conference room unless you go outside and like from the entrance lobby?
Did they put a wall there?
They put a wall there.
Oh, man.
I didn't know this. Oh my God. Is this in the design area?
I was like, I said, somebody get me the designs. I need to see why they put a wall here. And then they got me the designs from the architects, and sure enough, there was a wall that was placed there. And I was like, oh no, now we're gonna have to have the demo crew come out and make the door again. But it's been an interesting process. Some delays in the furniture, some interesting construction stuff. But happy to say everything's looking great. All of the workspace stuff is in. Now we're just waiting on kind of the ancillary furnitures, the couches and the cafeteria tables, and the game lounge area and some of the conference tables. But everything's looking great. Very excited. I think we have about
It's
40
the
or so
exercise.
people.
It's part of our exercise regiment. You have to walk around to get to the meeting.
Yes, exactly. We have about 40 people that are currently in the studio, and then everyone else should be phasing in over the
Wow.
next, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. I know that Zim is hard at work getting everything planned there. That guy is a
Powerhouse.
absolute powerhouse stud. He is
I love
amazing. Zim is couldn't give more kudos to Zim. He has done a lot of
Wow.
work, and he has been
That's
I've
pretty
bearing
known
a
him
fast
lot
for
of
like
progress.
load. Yeah.
15 years now, probably at this
Wow,
point.
yeah.
He's awesome. He's just a great dude too. Like outside of being a badass when it
And
comes to work.
a great D&D player. I mean, just
He's so funny. I feel so bad for him. He plays in a D&D campaign with me, and he has a rogue who just in combat just rolls daddy ones like crazy, and he just rolls with it. I feel so bad. But out
I
of
think the
combat,
last
he like is great for the party. Does a lot of awesome
I
stuff.
think the last session we had in Pathfinder, his character was I think he was a human rogue as well.
Yeah, but
And
he had better luck
he got
then.
knocked out. Well, he got knocked out and was like captured by a pirate crew and was on a ship. And then the ship got attacked by like some kraken, and I think
Oh
he's
my
like in the
gosh.
middle of the sea somewhere right now. But anyways,
Sounds like
so
Zim. I can
yeah,
see that.
exactly. But no, things are going great on the studio move-in. Things are also going good on the recruiting and hiring front. We've had multiple new employees starting over the last month alone. Some great new faces on the team that we're very excited to have. And then also looking forward, Alpha 1 has been going very good. We've been getting a lot of data, a lot of information, a lot of areas that we want to focus on we're starting to focus on already, but also post Alpha 1 that we have some great ideas to sit down with the design teams and take a look
Guys, I'm
at
gonna
some of
skip.
our systems and mechanics and documentation
Oh.
and reevaluate some things and employ some changes. So things are going really good on the studio front. It's an exciting time to be at Intrepid.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I was gonna skip to design.
It's been cool for me too, being
But
able to
I think
see
they're about to go
all the
into
new
it.
folks as well, because we're, we've been in
Oh, yeah.
lockdown forever. So
I
meeting
know.
people face to face is so weird. Even my own staff, like we've been on camera, obviously, but like we've kind of got to meet a little bit at the 4th of July party. So finally being able to at least see some people.
Oh, that 4th of July party was fun.
It was so nice. And our
All right,
changes.
we are gonna skip a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as many of you know, because we've spoken about this so often, Alpha 1 is not intended to be a content test. So, on the
Right.
content side, there's really not a lot that we are gleaming out of Alpha 1. However, on a mechanics and systems standpoint, there is a lot of information that we've been taking player feedback from, kind of
Okay.
digging through a lot of the content creators' videos that they've created, watching streams, watching all of the logs and the data that we collect from the test sessions. And kind of iterating upon that, not just planning for post Alpha 1, but also making changes during Alpha 1. That, for example, the video you're going to see here in a little bit, there's a short video, but I wanted to record it this morning just to give you an idea of how we take feedback and we incorporate change, right? So for example, on the combat front, obviously this was an important thing that we wanted to start revamping. The engineering team and our design team, specifically, Adam Pipich and Trad Thompson and Brian Ferguson, and they've been working to kind of test some things out that we're going to probably deploy next week with next week's test session. We were hoping to have it done this week, but for those of you who may not understand kind of the process of how development works and promotion from different branches of the development stream works, first we have to deploy a particular change or changes that we're making in the game to a development branch, and then it moves up based on the QA testing to a stage branch, and then to a production or a release branch, and then that's when the players start to get a feel for things. And we want to make sure that QA's had time to kind of vet the changes, that they're not impacting different areas of the game or causing crashes or having kind of bad performance, right? So one of the changes we're going to see next week is on melee combat, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from players that, you know, it's not as desired for, you know, combat to lock a player in place as they're performing their melee attacks. Now, some of you who have been following along the Ashes of Creation project will remember back in the APOC days, we initially tested with not having root motion as part of the melee attacks, and a lot of the feedback we got was that things felt very floaty and not impactful. That didn't feel like there was a lot of weight to the melee attacks, and so that's when we kind of changed gears a little bit back then, back to or to a root motion kind of based combat attack. And
no matter what they do, they can't make everyone happy, right? And it's always the people that are unhappy that are the loudest.
We got some positive feedback there. We incorporated some kind of lunging attacks and whatnot. Now that we have you know, the current melee attacks in Alpha 1, we're getting feedback again that we want that kind of ability to move. So just to give you preface to this video, it's going to give you a preview kind of next week of what players in Alpha 1 are going to have hands-on testing. And we've presented it in such a way that it's more A/B type testing, so that players who are participating with melee combat can press a hotkey to go back and forth between root motion or this more free flow attack animation, and kind of give us feedback on that difference. And this kind of helps us to tune kind of the combat to get a better idea and a sense of direction on more of the front-facing changes.
Oh my gosh, guys, that's mind-blowing. Why don't we have more games doing this where it's like, hey, we're providing you an A/B testing zone so that you guys can tell us what you like the best. We've made both. We've made the static attack so that it's more weighty, you feel like it's influencing your character when you attack. And we have this more like lighthearted, flowy World of Warcraft style. Like, why? This is brilliant. This is so good. I love this. Chill Coaster, welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, like I want more game companies to do this. Like, they can't go wrong. Like, for example, if people come back saying, hey, actually we do like the floaty combat more, then they can take that and they can say, hey, we A/B tested it. The majority of our players have agreed to have it be more mobile, more fluid, and that's what we're going to go with. And then when people complain in the future, it's like, hey, yeah, well, we were actually debating that, but we A/B tested it with the players. How cool is that? I don't know, like, think of all the terrible systems in WoW, and imagine if they released those systems in an A/B test environment where it's like, hey, do you like it when this system functions like this, or do you like it when it functions like this? And then people can give their feedback. Man, the game would be just so much better if they could keep both and we could switch based on character class or whim. Yeah, I wonder if that will be one of the outcomes of this A/B test. What if it's split 50-50? I wonder if they do implement that where people can choose. I don't know. That's interesting.
We should see. Now, a lot of the changes, though, to combat, I will say, have been on the back end. And the engineering team has done an amazing job, and design has done a great job kind of converting a lot of the abilities and skills over to this new combat system in the back end. Next step for that is going to be transitioning all of the NPCs and AI off of the old combat system and onto the new back end combat system.
When they say back end combat system, is that there's these trees. These like logic trees is like when they push this button and you attack, it depends on like what you're attacking, what sound it makes, depends on what you're attacking, like what calculation it does for how much damage, whether you're cleaving multiple people, whether that character is higher or lower than you. Like, there's this tree of logic, and that's what they were rebuilding when it comes to the combat system. They haven't really spent that much time on the front end when it comes to animations, balancing numbers, that sort of thing. They've been mainly focusing on the back end tree and logic of it.
which should drastically improve performance and expand upon the kind of types of functionality that design wants to see and have the ability to utilize when designing encounters and types of NPCs and the AI and how they kind of interact with the players. So this little video is just going to give you it's like 7 minutes long or whatever, but it's going to show you some of the changes between what the old combat with root motion was and what the new combat that we're going to be testing next week will look like, specifically with regards to melee weapons.
Okay.
All right. I will go ahead and play that, and we'll see you guys in a moment.
Let's do this.
Hello, glorious Ashes of Creation community, and welcome to another video inside Alpha 1. I'm excited to show you a little bit of stuff that we've been working on the combat side. You are currently looking at the development branch of Ashes of Creation. For those of you who don't know, Ashes of Creation has multiple branches of development. We call our combat environment our development branch, our stage branch, our production release branch. For Alpha 1, and those of you who are participating in Alpha 1 as testers, you're currently on our release branch. That's where changes have seen the most amount of quality assurance testing and are solid and stable for us to put out to the public and get feedback on, get testing on. But today I'm going to show you something that has not yet been promoted up to the release branch and is still under significant testing, but I want to show you some of the directions that we're taking based on feedback from the community with regards to combat, specifically with regards to melee combat.
So cool that they're doing this.
So for those of you who've been watching some of our amazing content creators out there who are streaming and creating YouTube videos around Ashes of Creation's Alpha 1, you may have noticed that with melee combat, when a player attacks, they move forward, what we call root motion. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. There you go. So you'll see here, as I'm clicking my Q attack, I am swinging and moving forward with the attack. Now, this essentially creates a little bit of weight for the combat, for the melee weapons, but at the same time, it restricts player input for the ability to kind of change directions and move with a particular target, right? Now I can change kind of the direction I'm moving in when I'm in the middle of these types of attacks, but I don't have complete control over my character as the root motion is occurring. So one of the changes that we are playing with right now is actually going back a little bit, a couple of years to APOC combat, which was the ability for the character to kind of have complete control as they were moving. Now, back then, when we tried this, we got a lot of feedback that it felt very floaty, that wasn't as impactful, you couldn't really feel the weight. And we're going to be playing with some of the dials that help to communicate that weight, such as the visual effects, the audio, screen shake, the animations, the kind of torso twisting and movement. And we're
Animation
gonna try
is huge
to make that more impactful. But right now, we want to get players' feedback on this change, which will probably get rolled out next week into the live environment, into the release branch of Ashes of Creation's Alpha 1. But I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of it today, and those of you who are watching and tuning into the stream can give your feedback in Twitch, go to the forums, go on Reddit, go on Discord, chat about this, and let us know your thoughts on it. So when it gets rolled out to players next week, what we're going to do is we're going to include a hotkey that can be used, and players can kind of A/B test between the root motion melee attacks and the non-root motion melee attacks. So by pressing comma, you'll be able to move forward while swinging your weapon. And this will allow you complete control over your weapon attacks for melee. So let's see what we can do against this little crab dude. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Come on over. Uh-oh. There we go. There. So now I can move while swinging on this guy. I can back up. Continue to attack it. And just have complete control over my character while attacking this little crab guy.
I like this so much better. What are you guys thinking? Like, this looks and feels way better to me. maybe it's because I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and maybe after playing New World coming up here, like opinions might change, but this is looking way better. It feels way better.
There we go. Now let me actually switch over.
Yeah, it still feels like it has impact. I feel like it has just as much impact as when he was moving forward. Like the sound and everything. I don't know. I like it a lot more. Yeah, I agree, guys.
Let me switch over to action.
Okay, let's see it in action.
And let's see if we can find another crab person. Or not person, but creature. Sorry.
So this is still free floaty combat, but just with the action.
Actually, people in ashes. No, I'm just kidding. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm liking it. Can he toggle back? I wanna see the difference now. Cause this feels really good to me. Yeah, this feels really, really good to me.
Alright. So let's do one. Oh wait, actually there's like a corrupted dude over here. He might be a little much for me. But I can still play with it. Uh-oh. I keep doing that, I'm so sorry. Alright, here we go. Alright, buddy. Whoa.
Yeah, it's feeling just way better.
Oh yeah, he's doing damage to me.
Yeah, it's feeling incredibly better. The feedback they were getting originally, I'm just gonna pause it right here. The feedback they were getting originally that it felt weighty and that your auto attacks didn't have much impact. I don't think that has to do with the floatiness, they say, or the fluidity of it. I think it has to do with the animations. I feel like the animations and the sounds are what really contribute to that. But this is looking way better when I compare them.
Fly, you fool. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed a little demonstration of some of the work that's being done currently on the combat system, some of the changes that are being made based on player feedback from Alpha 1.
Yeah.
The testers have been doing a great job over the past few weeks, showcasing not only to the community what the progress has been on the development of Ashes of Creation, but also helping to illuminate to us some good ideas and some changes that we want to act on. Always, taking into consideration the player feedback is such an important part of the development process, and we appreciate everybody chiming in for that. And with that, I will see you back on stream shortly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the difference between him being locked down. Where was it? Let's go back to where he was sort of locked down.
Now let me actually move with a particular target, right? Now I can change.
So I see how it has like weight to it, right?
The direction I'm moving in when I'm in the middle of these types of attacks, but I don't have.
And I feel like if it was, and to be fair, there is some strategy to this, right, with your positioning. But I feel like too often you might get yourself into a position that you don't want to, and you're just doing auto attacks. Where auto attacks, I feel like out of all of your abilities or all of your damage output, are the least important, But I feel like it has the most important lockdown to it comparative to other abilities, right? So I really like
control over my character.
I understand how it has more weight, but I don't like it as much as the fluidity. Animation and sound are definitely the two biggest contributors. Effects secondary to those two. Yeah, animation and sound, the way because when you're auto attacking, you can still be planted on the ground and have like a good animation and a good sound. That's what gives it weight and importance. And then effects can add to that for sure. But I don't think it has But I don't think locking your character and moving him in a direction or freezing him in place is what gives the auto attack meaningful weight. But when you move past your target, I think you have to turn around. I think that's the problem is it forces you to move forward. So you're constantly like circling back on your target instead of like strafing or you deciding when you're going to move around your target. It's kind of forced upon you, and it's not as fun. Yeah, Choke Coaster. Good comment.
So, one of the changes that we are playing.
Yeah, and then we go from that to this.
There. So now I can move while.
Yeah, see, like you can still circle and like try to get behind your opponent so he can't auto attack you or something.
I can back up. Continue to attack it.
Yeah, guys, this just feels so much better. I'll be surprised. I'll be seriously surprised if during the A/B test it comes back the other way around, where people like the static combat more. I'll really be surprised.
Everybody chiming in for that, and with
his alt button.
I know. Unfortunately, alt is my push to talk key, and tab. I was trying to target the creature, so it alt tabbed me.
Who uses alt as their
Not
push
really
to
many
talk?
questions necessarily, but
yeah.
you know, in regards to like a lot of feedback. If you do have feedback, definitely go send that over to us on the forums. Like Steven said, you can post it any platform. We are checking all of those.
Sorry,
things.
it was
So
a little loud there.
Is the best way for us because Toast puts together these amazing reports, and it just makes it easy for us because we own that platform. We can like see the data a little easier than if we're trying to like access data from like a social platform. But obviously we do take feedback from everywhere. Something that you did mention prior to playing the video was that these combat changes, or the combat changes that you guys are working towards, are going to help performance. Can you go into a little bit more detail about like what types of changes help with performance and like maybe how the players will experience that change?
Yeah, it's a little bit on the more technical side,
People
at least
like
when
the
discussing.
technical side, though.
That's true. It kind of has to do with how combat. Previously, we used to create a lot of actors in the game world, and that can be a pretty expensive thing to do. And we moved away from that predominantly when it comes to specific abilities. And, you know, obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done to continue to propagate those changes across, not just from the PC ability standpoint, but also onto the NPC side as well. And that's something that's going to be done post Alpha 1 from the design team and from engineering, so that engineering no longer has to support the old ability system and combat system with regards to NPCs. So this specifically when there's a lot of players in a specific area and the server's having to process, you know, RPCs and kind of the generation of these abilities, it's not as taxing on the network side to send this traffic, so to speak.
Okay.
So without getting too technical into it, you know, generally from a performance standpoint, we're looking towards massive, you know, players participating in castle sieges, and we have to design the ability system, the combat system, to be most performant in those scenarios. So you may not notice any performance change per se on a like single creature or in a group environment. I mean, you might feel it being more responsive, you know, quicker, essentially on activation and seeing it chug a little less. But it's really going to be something that's apparent, especially for those of you who participated in testing over the past like 8-9 months as we were leading up into Alpha 1. You've probably seen what you're experiencing now in larger battles, and when we did some castle sieges a few weeks ago, that the responsiveness, there was no lag between key input and the activation of particular abilities, and that
Yo, Carl, thanks for subscribing on YouTube. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the crib.
It is performing in a much more level way.
And the noise is my gardener in the background. It sometimes falls on the live stream day, so I'm just like, there's nothing I can do about it, homies. But I try to meet.
She has a gardener.
But thank you for giving some more.
How rich are these guys?
People love hearing, you know, the.
I'm sorry, my gardener is tending to the yard behind me.
Minor details than just kind of like
Carl,
overarching stuff.
hey, thanks for the heart.
Now, obviously,
I'm glad you're enjoying the
video that
channel
you're
and
seeing
the
and that
live stream.
Steven went over, that's not completely done, not final. We still have a lot of changes that we would make. And if we do decide to go with the new changes, there's like some animation changes and things like that that we'll be making as well to make it look even better as we move forward. So
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
It's important to note.
Yeah, they were saying that they're gonna completely revisit and revamp animation. The animation they have is kind of placeholder. Like, I'm sure they're gonna keep some of it, but they really just want to get something that you could play with and play test with. But it's not like they've spent a lot of time on animation and pixels and ability animation. So it will change as time goes on.
Here again is kind of bare bones implementation of this non-root motion melee attack, and it doesn't have a lot of the ancillary components that we call bells and whistles, so to speak, on the base system. So that includes like the visual effects and the weapon trailing and the impact effects and the camera, very minute camera shaking, and the audio and the audio attenuation and the split body animation and the torso moving and the there's a lot of components here that need to get touched up essentially or continue to be polished and implemented upon, and that's what's really going to make the combat stand out even more so, at least on the front end, the visual front end of that thing. So right now we're just trying to get it
just what we were saying. Make sure the fundamental pieces work, takes priority over polish. Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's what needs to be focused on right now during the alpha and even the beta. I think those are the times where you really have to hone those down, because making content is relatively easy. Relatively, right? Like, it still takes a lot of work and animation and making it look cool and play good. But making content's relatively easy when the foundation is there. I don't know if relatively easy, but easier when the foundation is there.
From the testers, like, which do you prefer? Which is the preferred method of melee combat? Do you like having that, constant control over movement at any given point in time? Or do you like the more weighted feeling of that root motion attack?
No, I don't.
And I think that what we've seen predominantly as feedback from players is they like that more constant control over their character movement. And part of the reason why we're utilizing Alpha 1 to collect information and feedback from the testers, and not just testers, but from the audience, from people who are watching the streams and the content creators create content around Alpha 1, is to have people go on the forums, go on Discord, go on Reddit, go on Twitter, and let us know your thoughts on this, because right now is a very formative part of the creation of the game, and the more players express their opinions,
I'm opening Discord right now.
We're capable of gleaning insight from the preference of our player base, and that's such an important part of the creation of a game, right? Because at the end of the day, we're making this game for you guys, so you might as well.
That's for sure. Share our feedback, guys.
Well, yeah, yes, it's my dream game, it's our dream game, it's our passion, but at the end of the day, we're doing this for you guys, the community. So being involved and convincing your friends to get involved in the discussion, not saying they have to come and buy the game or participate in the alpha, but just watching the updates, watching the development, and having that cool component of having a voice in something rather than just waiting until it's done and it being shoved down your throat. Like, you get to give feedback here, and that's an important part.
Yeah.
I think that like the new changes will be something that PvP players will really like too, because it's a lot more control over your character. But we'll see. We'll see, because we used to have it previously, and then we moved to the other one afterwards. So we're constantly making changes, constantly doing iterations. Now let's talk a little bit about the future. Going into Alpha 2, heading forward, can we talk a little bit about? We've already had some of our teams working towards Alpha 2 already. Can you talk a little bit about what those things are, and then also kind of like after Alpha 1 is complete, what folks can what they can expect from us? I know you talked a little bit about how we're going to take time, but maybe go into more details about like what that time is going to be spent doing, and then going forward, what they can expect beyond that.
Yeah. So, typically when you think of the term alpha, right, you're thinking that all core systems are in place. And we've kind of split up our alpha into alpha 1 and alpha 2. Alpha 1 not quite having every core system in place, but having some of the more integral core systems kind of present and available to be tested early, so that and the reason for the reason why we wanted to do
what are those core systems? Is it mainly like the node systems and like crafting, kinda? Because crafting kind of sucks as it is right now. Is it mainly just core systems like combat and nodes and like unit AI trees? Like, I don't know how
that
core
way
they're talking.
is because many of our systems are very interdependent. They're very connected to one another, and there are some very centralized systems such as the node system, combat, general AI, the open world aspect
Guys, I literally just listed those three things. That is
of an
awesome.
Unreal Engine 4 game, the
In the same order,
massively
too.
multiplayer networking components, performance-related
Okay.
server setup and architecture, the distribution of server processes across an open world. Like, those are very fundamentally core systems that we wanted to get in the hands of players in live testing earlier rather than later, and waiting for all of the other ancillary systems that are also core to be present. And that's typically what an alpha refers to, right? Is having
Right.
all core systems in place. But that's really what alpha 2 will be intended to be. So
I mean,
that's
some
where we're
alphas have just gray box stuff.
right. Well,
We
we
actually
would call
have.
those, yeah, we would really call those more technical alpha, or vertical slices of a particular system, right?
Right.
This is our alpha 1 is a bit more than that, obviously, but it's not quite a full alpha in the sense of having every core system in place. And that's why we have an alpha 2, because the alpha 2 is intended to have pretty much every core system in place to some degree or another, not fully fleshed out, not fully contentized, so to speak. But as we leave alpha 1 and start the trek towards alpha 2, that's when you're going to start seeing more of the content flow in. That's when you're going to start seeing systems flesh out a little bit more. That's when you're going to start seeing those systems appear in a little bit more of a polished state. And that's when you're going to
Okay.
start getting to this idea of having a kind of fully fleshed out world, because that's the last opportunity in the game's development lifespan before we're hitting those beta milestones, and really that's when all the content should be in place by those betas, and being tested and localized for different markets and whatnot. So as we kind of leave alpha 1, we're going to spend some time, as I said previously, tearing things apart, iterating based on the feedback and the data that we collected over the month-long alpha. We might have some spot tests after that breakdown period, so to speak, where we invite the alpha 1 testers back to spot test. And then we might even have some lead up testing by alpha 2 players where they join in prior to alpha 2 in the same way that our alpha 1 players did for alpha 1. That's kind of the expectation that should be had.
Awesome.
Cool.
And like I said, we will be doing a recap article that will go out. So if you just check out our website, ashesofcreation.com/news, we will be putting out a recap after Alpha 1. Give us a little time because we want to compile the data and stuff like that. And we will kind of provide you guys information in regards to what data we gathered, what things we're going to be changing, and how it's going to affect that. And then also moving forward, what we're going to be working towards. Obviously, Stephen gave you just like a gist of it, but we do want to give you a little bit more detail as well, going forward. But with that, if you're ready,
And I just
go ahead.
want to say one other
Yeah.
thing. It's very important to note that our development takes a little bit different of a course than probably other developments you're accustomed to seeing. I know I've said this multiple times in the past, but we're not beholden to an investment group. We're not beholden to a publisher. So at the end of the day, our focus is making a very good product, and that takes time. And early on in our company, I made some miscalculations on what that time was going to be. But at the end of the day, I always said we would take the time necessary in order to produce a product, a game that answers the call of players and makes you guys proud as well as us. And hopefully along that time period over the progress of our development, because we do monthly, literally every month we've done development updates where you get to see the progress, and now you're at a state where you get to play the progress, and or you get to see others play the progress. That's an important part of keeping you guys assured that, hey, we are doing the work that's necessary, and we are taking the feedback that you guys are giving in order to create a very good game, and we're showing you every step of the way. Especially now with the NDA having been dropped, you don't have to see curated videos, even though we never really
Yeah, what they're doing is amazing. What, like, the feedback loop between us and them is awesome. I love seeing the progress and how they're able to achieve these things so quickly.
Process and give you guys a look, and
by recording being the problem, it was not the game. It was literally
my recording
Steven's
software.
recording program.
It was my recording software. It was unfortunate. But
we're just gonna skip forward a bit.
To be answered, and I'm like, you personally cannot do that. That is CS, Sarah, and Cody on the community front. They are the frontliners for us, and I think, you know, just be kind to them. They're definitely trying anywhere else. All right. Going to move on to all of the amazing art that our teams have been working on. So first and foremost, we're going to head on over to environment, which, you know, first up we have concepts art. Now, here's the thing. You're going to look at this concept art, and then you're going to see the models coming up afterwards, and you're going to be like, what's the difference? That's how amazing our artists are, because here's all the concepts, okay? They're going to just keep rolling in, and then I'm going to show you what the actual models look like. So these are like our fountains, our Brazers, our weapon racks, banners.
Okay, so these are
like
concepts?
The banner posts that you're going to see, gallows. I think that's a gallows right there. The podium, and a riser and stuff like that. So these are all things that are going to help make the world feel, you know, more like a world. And obviously, when it comes to nodes and how nodes build up, we really want them to not be the same. You know, every time you go in there, like you have like different buildings being placed, different
because they look like game assets
and things like that. So really what we need to do is be able to create a lot of these things. Now, if you haven't...
Just to be clear, did you say gallows?
Gallows, yes.
As in like where people are like executed and hung?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's dark.
I know. Well, there's also some...
But don't they just get reborn at the nearest respawn point?
Maybe. I don't know. Is there a way to like forever permadeath? You know, like in...
Yeah, that's a good question.
In some
like
games,
in Galaxies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like the nodes, basically, we want to make sure that, you know, the world feels different every time, and I think that what goes into that is really building up all of the different buildings and items and objects that get placed. And some of these you'll be able to place yourself in your own house or on your own freehold. So keep that in mind as well. You might see variants of this that are for players as well.
It looks really good. If you
haven't checked out our Dev Diaries, we do have a Dev Diaries that goes over how buildings are created and also how our nodes are systematically on the back end, tech-wise. So if you're interested in that kind of nitty-gritty stuff, go check those out. We're going to be bringing some more Dev Diaries in the future as well, which I'm really
looks really
about.
good.
We've been preparing the storyboards for those for when we're all back in the office.
I love seeing darker stuff like this, like gallows and trapdoors.
I know.
So now I'm going to show you the actual assets. So this is a Dunir fence. So, you know, a lot of people are asking, like, how will I corral my creatures or my mounts and stuff like that? You're going to have fencing that you can place down.
Yeah.
What?
Exciting.
How in depth is this housing?
Different structures based on the advancement of a particular animal husbandry component of a freehold system, and that's going to advance as you advance the freehold building for animal husbandry, which expands the types of creatures you'll be able to actually husbandry? I don't know.
Breed, I think it's
breed. Okay. Well, that just seems very coarse kind of word, you know.
It does seem like a coarse kind of word for sure. And then here are the banners and the banner posts. These are Dunir ones and Imperium ones. And you saw the concept art. Now look, tell me what the difference is between the concept art and this 3D model. Like, it
looks great.
No, they're so good.
We're not going to see any actual people hanging from the gallows in this, right?
No, not in this video
very good.
Here.
Very good. Not in this video, but next video maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we have shown like
Oh, I
mummified
know.
people
We've
and
shown
stuff.
mummified spider
looks pretty good.
people.
Yeah, Steven was very uncomfortable about it.
I was like, bacon, no!
Oh, they're in the world. You can see them.
I know.
Next up, we've got some cool fireplaces, brazers, candle holders, and these are, I believe, Kailar and Empyrean versions. So, oh, look at that little fireplace.
Oh, that's
Alright.
a good idea.
It's so
What
pretty.
if
Looks
when
pretty good.
people get banned for botting or like RMTing or gold buying or selling, that they get hung on their character when banned is hung on the gallows in like the center of town square
That
for
is
like a day
awesome.
or something.
Please
No, I'm just
do
saying, like,
that.
that's not a bad
The
idea.
chat's like, yes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
not a
good.
bad idea. I'm telling you, we got to
That's
think
The
about
problem
really
is
good.
then people will do that just so they can get that notoriety.
mean,
You realize?
Well,
Yeah. See,
it's
you're
true.
yeah. They're promoting. This is why we shouldn't promote. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
What if their name is not shown, so they don't get the notoriety, but their character's there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
It's
well,
such a
we'll
good
have to think
idea.
about
We'll
that one.
talk about it.
Yeah, that's such a good
Uh,
idea.
Here's also some statues. These are really beautiful. So I believe these are Kailar statues, but Stephen, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, those
They
are
look
Kailar.
Yeah,
Yeah, very nice.
they're so pretty.
Great statues. Who did these statues?
I don't have the name
User
off
joined
the
your
top of my
channel.
head.
Aw.
User left your channel.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
guess.
Twan joined us for a moment.
I'm gonna guess Hal.
Hal.
That's my guess, but I don't know.
And then we have some miscellaneous ones here. I'll put in my notes in the future who made each one, so like I can have the answer for you.
Did somebody join our live stream?
Yeah, it
channel?
was Twan. He meant to join the live ops channel and he joined our channel.
Twan.
So we have Empyrean podium, these amazing windows, which are also Empyrean windows. Look how gorgeous those windows are. I never thought I'd be talking about how gorgeous windows are, but they're gorgeous. And then we
Yeah,
have the
they look
Kailar bridge and the weapon rack, but you're seeing some of these things like in-game versus the model, and honestly, I can't tell, or versus the concept art. I can't tell the difference. So great job to
Yeah.
our environment team.
There's a little less
Amazing
detail
job to
in
our
the.
concept art team.
There's a little less detail in game than the concept models, but that's to be
just been
expected.
pumping out concept art left and right. Some of these are work in progress, obviously, so keep that in mind as we're, moving forward. You're going to see different iterations of these, but I always like showing you guys kind of like the process. Moving on to character art. This
Ooh,
guy's so
spiky
cute.
frog.
This is the dredge horn. This
Oh,
part's
I
my
love
favorite because I
this
get to see a lot of
guy.
stuff I designed come to life, and I'm
This
like,
guy's so
"Oh."
cool. I like the little hairs on his skin.
Yeah, I was like, I want him to have little spiky bits, like little hairy frog hair
Yeah.
bits.
Look at him.
He's so cool. I love like the
I love the
snout,
horn.
how it turned out. It
Yeah.
just
I love
so
how
freaking
unique it
good.
is.
Ugh, I can't get
His
over it.
his neck reminds me, I told you, of the Slan from like Lizardman
Yeah.
Army. I used to play Warhammer Fantasy a lot of tabletop, and the Slans were like the big mages of the armies or whatever, and their neck kind of looks a little bit like that.
Next up, we've got the Polywagon, which is a different type of frog, and you can kind of see like the body is a little different, but we're using like the same. It kind of allows us to use a similar body shapes and animations, which helps us
Yeah.
make more creatures faster.
Sure.
But this is.
But it
what
looks
said.
completely different. It's not just
I
a
can't wait to see the
reskin.
animation for him
When
with
he
that
hops.
caravan on his back. Yeah, the caravan. I don't know.
Or he like sticks, like sticky legs.
Yeah, I have to do probably the sticky leg.
Yeah, sticky legs.
Physics might get a little weird if he's
He
hopping.
starts hopping, but it kind of be fun to like be like the little like bouncing around.
Yeah, that'd be a rough ride. That'd be a rough ride.
Would be a rough ride. Next up, we have our hefty capling. Ooh, you get a booty shot to start with here. I can't tell the difference between
Excuse me,
this
guys.
and concept art really. Like,
Is that a
it's just-
booty? Do mushrooms have butts?
The
Do they have,
mushroom
Well, no,
booty?
but he looks like he's
digestive
got a
tracts?
booty.
Maybe
I
that's
like
just,
this mushroom
his
dude, though.
root system. Like he has two different roots.
Two different booty roots.
Yeah, booty roots.
Nah, it's a booty for sure.
I like
Oh,
him though.
that's
He's
too
cool.
cute. He's adorable. I was like, I want him to be like evil looking, but cute. And I
love
think
the
because he
cap.
doesn't have a mouth, yeah. The cap is cool.
He does. He looks like he has a little tiny mouth right in the center of his eyes.
Nope.
No?
No mouth.
What is that? Is it just the nose then?
It's just the speckles
Or
on
just
his
a
body.
speckle?
Yeah, he's got little speckles.
Aw.
Next up, we have the terror bird. And if you don't mind kind
Whoa,
of chatting a
this
little
looks
bit
pretty
about
cool.
this guy.
It's like a
I'll be right back real
raptor.
quick.
Yeah, sure, not a problem.
It's like how raptors evolved into
So
chickens.
this is a bird, and he's definitely a terror. Like, he's scary to a degree. You can tell he's a bird because he has some feathers there. Feathers on his, like, as hands, right? Also, his beak is kind of bird-like. So it's a beautiful bird. But it's like if a dinosaur had become a bird, but not quite yet a bird fully, so it's still kind of dinosaur-esque, which is the terror part of the bird. So he's a terror bird because of the dinosaur-esque elements.
Brilliant.
And that's a very important part of being a terror bird. But you'll also notice that he has a saddle and some reins, and that's important because then people get to ride the terror bird, and that makes him a mount. So he's a mount terror bird. So there you go.
Mount terror bird.
Yes, I've successfully explained the entire concept of how he's a mount terror bird while you were gone.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch that. But I love seeing like the different iterations of the creatures, and like I think this is so cool looking.
No, it is very cool looking, and I believe Jinsey did this, yeah. I think this is.
Yeah, I think this is Jinsey.
Yeah.
Jinsey is just.
No, I really
one
love
day
the
we'll get her on the stream.
I love the colors. To be fair, though, when I see its wings, I think of like buffalo wings. Like I would eat that. You know what I mean? So almost I'd want to hunt this creature. But at the same time, it's very beautiful. So I would want to capture it as well.
You know what? Why don't we have in our culinary stuff, we have like little terror wings?
Oh, that's a good question.
Spicy
One of the
terror
taverns
rings.
might have some spicy terror rings.
Which race would make the spicy terror rings, though?
Probably either the Tulnar or the Vec, I would say.
Interesting. Vec? Really? I feel like Vec are like very smart and sophisticated. Almost.
Oh, they are very smart. But they might have a thing against terror birds because you would imagine that having kind of been localized to the more mountainous regions and areas, they probably are at odds with many of the avian species.
Okay, fair.
Right, and because of that, they might have vendettas to serve, so to speak, against those avian species of all kinds, particularly those who.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they want to prevent that species from continuing to evolve.
I'll just fast forward through the whole explanation of
then pluck them off the
why
tops
the
of these
Vec
mountains
might
and
hate
eat them.
terror birds.
So yeah.
Awesome. Moving on to the next one here, we've got our Crystalline Remnant. Now this, I believe, is still work in progress, but
Ice
look
boy.
how cool he's looking.
He's looking pretty cool. It looks like he got hit with a fireball straight
he's
to
missing
the
his,
chest.
because it's a little gem thing that's in there. I think it's going to be particle effect, probably.
Oh, nice.
But
So he's like an Iron Man-esque looking.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that, but
he doesn't look like Iron Man at all. So I think
no, I know. But you
people
said
get
that
the
he was
concept.
missing a thing in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
This was
Ice
part
guy
of one
looks
of our
pretty cool.
December sets that I helped design, and it's cool. He looks cool.
He looks chill.
Yeah.
Somebody
he
said
looks
he
like
looks chill.
I'm imagining him as like a little pet. So cute.
He looks like a walking ice cave.
True. Like you could
Yeah, he does.
live inside his chest or something.
Live
just sit inside his chest.
Maybe he's big enough that you can just be coddled inside the chest cavity.
Aw. Can you imagine like a little
Have like little reins where you'd like control him from inside. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That would actually be kind of cool. Now I want like there to be like a golem or some kind of.
What
like,
if
creature
that
living
like
in
a
there.
siege, like a castle siege, you could summon a giant version of this as a golem, and like as the summoner, you just climb up into the cavity and just like direct the thing to
Don't
walk
get me
towards
excited,
the wall,
Steven. That
and it
sounds
just
amazing.
like slams into the wall. Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be really cool.
Well, now we have to do that. Like, that sounds awesome. So this next creature is one that everyone calls the Snorse, but it is called the Wispwelk, and now you're going to see it being created.
The Snorse.
The Snorse.
Oh, cool.
I thought you were going to be like, no, Maggie, what are you creating this monstrosity? But you were actually
No, I
excited
love
about it.
Yeah.
How cool is this,
Because
guys?
originally, when I
This is
sent
like a
over the design,
win-win.
I was like, I want a horse and a snail to have a baby. So
And the great thing from a production standpoint is this can use the skeletal rig of the horse. with some adaptation. But that's always a good thing.
That's
I'm
really
sure the
cool.
animators were very happy with that.
They were excited, I know, to see what would come of this. We actually have a turntable of this as well. Obviously in a T-pose. That's why his tail is like sticking out. I just love the idea of, and I've talked about this before, of just like seeing something like slugging along, and then all of a sudden, and you get up to it, and it just stands up and starts chasing you. It
Yeah.
just sounds horrifying, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, that's
I really
really cool.
want the like spacebar animation for this guy to be where he kind of sits down on top of his legs to the point where they disappear,
Yeah.
and he just looks like a snail without the legs.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
a cool like spacebar animation.
That's really cool.
And then he like stands up, and you're like,
And then he stands up, and you're like, "What is this monstrosity?"
and like, you know how slugs or snails like leave like a little trail behind them? It's got to leave like a little gross slug trail behind it. Yeah. All right. Anyways,
cool.
moving on from there, we're gonna move into some costumes. So we've got our Wrath's Legacy here,
Ooh, okay.
and it's looking pretty amazing. I think this is from
Freaking Gladiator.
2018. A while ago.
Yeah, this was a while ago, but it's looking great. Don't we
I
have
It's
love
got
like
the
a little?
Loki horns.
Does it turn side to side a little bit? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I have a turntable too of it, so I will share that in a moment. I just wanted to share the stills
I
first.
love the horns, the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mention what it reminds me of, but
Loki.
it reminds me of something, and
Okay.
I think it looks really cool.
It's extremely cool.
It's Loki. That's what he's thinking of.
Look how awesome that is. Pretty sick. I can't wait to see like NPCs in the world that we place utilizing some of these and some variants of them.
Oh yeah.
And last
Did
but
you
not
say?
least-
I'm sorry. What?
and some variants of them.
What?
Variants?
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did I say?
What?
Did I say it
No.
right?
No, you said it right, but I don't think you've seen it yet. So go ahead.
Oh, variants.
I'll
Oh my gosh, that was brilliant. The variants, and because of the Loki horns.
tell you-
So
I'll tell you
good.
after the stream.
Okay.
That's
Scared. Everyone else
so
is laughing.
good.
I'm such an innocent
And some
soul.
variants.
I don't know what's happening right now.
That was
Okay.
brilliant.
It's neither innocent nor guilty. It's just,
Okay. All right.
it's just funny.
Next up we have here
Ooh. Look at this
this
plate armor.
beautiful armor piece. This is a Kailar plate armor. I believe it's tier 5, but it's still work in progress, so it's not
Now,
completely
this
done
is-
yet.
This is an important one because this is an example of in-game achievable armor sets. And I know many times people say, we've seen a lot of the cosmetic development and production, and that's because we have a significant backlog, obviously, of those things, and they're an important part of making the world, right? But here's an example of player character armor that can be achieved in game, just to give you an idea comparatively of what these armors look like against the cosmetics. And it's a very important aspect that when we offer these cosmetics, that these skins that can be applied to armors, that the in-game achievables are actually the best type of looking armors you can achieve, right?
Yeah.
Or are comparable, at least, at the very least. Because a lot of times in the games that I've played, they incentivize people to make those cosmetic, shop purchases by making the in-game achievables trash tier looking.
Yeah.
And that is not the case with Ashes. So
Cool.
here's an example. You can take a look. One of many that'll soon be coming out. We'll be showing more of.
We've
So
shown
cool.
We've shown quite
I
a
love
few
it.
Hey, I know
too.
we've shown a lot.
We
but
don't
I
want to
just see
show
it,
too
yeah.
much too, because we do want you guys to like get excited and experience things too in the game.
Yes, but that's
Um,
important
yeah.
because as I go across Reddit and I read people who are uninformed about the game, they're like, "Oh, there's so many cosmetics, and it's going to make the in-game stuff look,
No.
cheap and not good." That's not the case. You see it here. There are 4,600 people watching this stream right now. When you see other people say that, you can clip this or you can point to this image
Show them
and
past
you can
videos.
say
We've
that's
shown off
not the
tons.
case. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've shown off a
Okay.
few. But yeah,
That's good to
it's
know.
not the case. I mean, have you seen our artists? I don't think anything they
That's
make is
true.
going to be bad.
That is true. Good. That's true. It's true.
But yeah, I love this. This looks so cool. I like the cloak, how it has like that like a little like tier
You know, the face does remind me a little bit of Shredder,
Yeah,
but
people keep saying that.
I know. But to be fair, I thought Shredder looked badass, so that's okay.
It's true. It does. The armor
The
itself
gauntlets.
overall looks very different
Look
than
at
that.
these
But I can see
arm
where people are
pieces.
going with it. And now I know what people were talking about previously.
They're so
and no, I
beefy.
have not gotten to see that yet because I have been working on Alpha 1 crazy hours. So that
Wait,
is
what?
why.
Shredder?
No, the
That was
previous
like 20
one.
years ago.
No, the
Oh.
previous.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
Okay. I think that's it for this. So we're going to move into our Q&A segment, and we'll just play the video that Stephen
All
had
right,
provided
Q&A
us for the
time.
design segment. We'll
I love
we get
these.
through these questions. So let me.
I think, how many questions do we have?
10 questions.
10 questions. Okay, I'm going to try to rapid round the questions.
Okay. I will ask them quick, rapid round.
Rapid round
Let's see how quick
questions.
And if I
Let's
make
go.
any mistakes, I'll correct them afterwards.
Sounds good. Sunscript from the forum wants to know about node buildings. What happens to materials gathered and contributed to build a node building if the mayor decides to scrap the project?
They are lost. Next question.
Dave N wants
Lost.
to know keybinds. Will we be able to trigger skills with combinations of different keystrokes and reuse the same keys as part of different combinations?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, so
Diego
cool.
MF wants to know about corruption. If I damage a fellow player, but then let the mob they're fighting finish them off, will I gain any corruption?
No.
This is an exploit people have been like
Oh, you won't. It's whoever lands the final blow.
asking about. Actually.
So it's important to note that the idea is going to be that unless a player is in your party, alliance, guild, or raid, that you will not have definitive knowledge of their exact hit point values. So when you do something that's sketch like that, where you want to bring them close to death and let a monster finish them off, you are taking the risk of overhitting and actually gaining the corruption.
Whoa, that is really interesting. I didn't realize that you will not be able to see the health bars of other players unless they are part of your party, guild, unless they're friendly to you in some way. That's really interesting.
So that's, but it's something obviously we're going to test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now you can see everyone's health bars to some extent.
Correct.
So, which won't be what it will be like in end.
Correct.
Interesting.
Doken wants to know about sprinting. Will sprinting be based on stamina/time, or will we be able to run forever like in the current Alpha 1 testing?
I've instructed design to incorporate a mana consumption that's percentage based for sprinting. So it'll be a similar amount of time that each class, regardless of their mana values, will have in order to sprint, and it will not be accessible while in a combat. So that will be implemented later, and again, something we will be testing with.
Ooh. That's interesting because they don't have any fast travel, right? The only way you can travel is with a mount or on foot. And now they're saying that sprinting is going to be finite. It's going to use your mana instead of like stamina. But the problem with that is that some classes are going to have way more mana regeneration than others. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'll have to see when we're testing it. But that's interesting.
And Nodalis wants to know, and of course, I'm sorry if I pronounce anyone's names wrong, about fishing. Do you plan to keep fishing location-based? Find the sparklies like other harvesting we've seen during Alpha 1, or will I be able to fish anywhere in any water?
So it's important to note that there will be multiple types of fishing. There will be a more sports-oriented fishing, which may include some type of mini game as part of in order to fish that will have higher rewards, and those will be primarily location-based. Sparklies that are currently you seeing in Alpha 1, the whole gathering component of Alpha 1 is not the intended gathering for the actual game. You will not be seeing sparklies on resources and out in the world. That's just a kind of gap measure right now so that we can indicate to players, because we haven't had time to implement the actual UI and the actual gathering systems in place. So there won't be sparkles. And then additionally, there will be a type of fishing where you can fish with any water, but that will be a much more lower form of fishing that will yield much lesser types of rewards.
Awesome. Yeah. I think we've kind of
Really
answered
cool.
some of that in the past as well. Maybe not.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they're not going to have like sparkly resources and stuff. It'll be I want to see. So New World has this amazing gathering system, right? Where you can cut down just about any tree, you can mine any node, any like ore node. Almost every single rock you can pick up, bushes you can take down, grass you can take down. And I love that. It's very immersive. And I hope Ashes sort of follows suit where it's not so much like these one-off rare resources you might cross once in a while that you can harvest. I hope you can harvest just about anything.
Specific question though. Frog Night Songer wants to know about religion. Will we be able to worship the others and build temples for them in a divine node?
No, you won't be able to build temples in divine. No, you won't be able to build a temple to the others in divine nodes. And you will not be able to worship them in the same way that the primary religions have worship. However, there will be quest paths that do take you along a more darker route, which can lead to certain types of worship for the others.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
Alex Xavier wants to know about projectiles. Will projectiles be separated from their respective weapons? Example, will I need to buy / craft arrows for my bow?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question that we're still discussing in design, so I don't have an answer yet for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And Magic Man wants to know about ships. How early into our adventure will we be able to own a ship?
That's a good question. I would say probably around like level 10 or 15, you may have certain quests that navigate you towards creating a small personal vessel, one of the smallest types of ships that you can have. I would say that's probably around the time frame that we would introduce characters to naval gameplay.
Cool. And Ravuda wants to know about item transfers. Are players
Guys, I'm so excited for the ships. I just want to I don't know. I'm so ready to have this pirate guild and build these huge vessels, like these huge monolithic structures just going through and dominating people on the water. I just think that idea is so cool.
restricted from transferring materials / resources between alts through freehold storage, similar to the restrictions on warehouse storage?
If the question is with regards to materials, I would say no. You will be able to have alts be part of your access requirements or settings on housing and or storage within that housing.
Okay, cool. And
All
Jolan
right.
wants to know combat pets.
But again, to be
Oh,
clear,
sorry, go
to be clear, that storage is localized, so it's not going to be advantageous in the sense that I could then use an alt to transfer or move materials by accessing it from another storage container. So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. Jolan wants to know about combat pets. If you have to invest some portion of your power into having a combat pet, how soon after it dies will that power be returned to you?
That's a good question. I think the power gets delegated as the combat pet is summoned, right? As the
So when
combat
it
pet
despawns,
is
it
when it despawns, you would presumably, and again, this is subject to testing, you'd presumably be receiving that power back immediately.
And,
Okay.
summoning a pet, you can't just like insta necessarily. And one last
That's
question.
really cool. I'm really interested in that because I want to play a summoner. And you can have 3 summons, right, as a summoner. But then you can have your pet, and they said that you should be able to use your mounts in combat too. So you could come up with some really interesting combinations between your summons and your pet. Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Question is from Kibs or Kibis, and they want to know about gear. What are your plans to keep old gear relevant / useful after new expansion releases? And I like this question.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a big component of gear usefulness or relevancy as either you're progressing or as expansions come out or whatnot is that there is a deconstruction method associated with gear. And that deconstruction can provide very specific and necessary crafting materials that can only be achieved through deconstruction of certain types of gears. And then additionally, as we kind of consider expansion.
So it's like disenchanting in WoW, right? Like you can get items, you can disenchant them to get specific resources that you can then use to enchant other items. So it's similar to that. I'm not saying it's going to be an enchanting system, but But like you said, certain resources you'll only be able to get by deconstructing something. Interesting.
And additional itemization paths and tiers going forward. All gear is going to remain relevant within the tiers that they exist, right? So from a progression standpoint, as you achieve access to different types of tiers, those gears are still going to have relevancy within that tier.
Awesome. And that is going to wrap it up. You did pretty good. That was pretty quick, Stephen.
Yeah.
That's really good. Like, overall, I'm super excited. These questions have been really interesting because it shows us how little is in the game. Like, they still have so much to add, so much content and systems to implement. So it makes me really excited to see how they progress in the future.
You did a good job. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up our live stream for July. It has been a crazy month for us. We're very excited to have lots
That's
of people.
crazy. That's really good. That's really interesting. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to hop on really quick and do that fast live stream. I've had a lot of fun talking with you. Thanks for joining the live stream, coming and hanging out. We'll flip on some music here just to end things. And guys, as always,